Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm going to teach you how to compile the Supermodel free emulator. If you go to the main page of the Supermodel emulator, you'll see that if you go to the download tab, the only version that you will encounter is the 0.2a, which is super obsolete, and it's from 2011, so it's like 10 years old. So in order to download the latest version of the emulator, you'll have to download first the source code and then just compile it yourself, so you have the latest and greatest version of the executable. So in order to do so, all you have to do is go to this webpage, which is msys2.org, msys2.org. Go here and just go into the download installer executable hyperlink. So just clicking here, the download is going to start. Just clicking keep, and once you have it, you have the installer. The installer is very straightforward. Just go into the downloads and just locate the installer and double click it, go to next, and everything is next. Just make sure to install it into this into this path, which is CMSys64. Just clicking next, and everything is going to be installed just fine. So we're also going to install another program which is called TortoiseSVN. This program is going to be useful in order to download the source code itself. So what you're going to do is go to downloads again, go to the 64-bit operating system, which is most likely you have a 64 operating system, unless you're using an obsolete and very old version of Windows. So go into 64 version and click it and go here where it says TortoiseSVN or whatever version. Maybe the installer is going to automatically download, but if it doesn't, just clicking here in this .msi archive. So once you download it, just install it. It's also super straightforward. Just clicking next, next, next until everything is installed. So what's the next step? So the next step is obviously to open MSys console. So just open this. You'll find this strange, weird looking window, command window. So what you're gonna do is open the first line of command. Just clicking paste, and this basically what it does is install GCC. So just clicking enter and just type Y to signify you want yes, and just clicking enter. So obviously you'll need internet connection to do all this stuff. So a little package is going to be downloaded via internet, and you're pretty much done for now. So just leave this window open because we're gonna need to keep using that in a couple of seconds. So now the next we want to do is go and system environment variables. Just look for that. Go to your start button, open the PC settings, and just find and click in here and paste or type system environment variables. Click in that, and this is going to be opened. So now click in environment variables again, and go into the part in the upper part of this window where it says user variables and whatever username you have, and go into path. So once you're in the path selected, just go and click in edit and click in new and add this one. I'm not gonna do it because I've already done it, as you can see, but all you have to do is add this line. So CMC64 min GW64/bin. So once you just add this, clicking OK and OK, and we are pretty much done for now. So now the next thing you're going to do is open a normal CMD. So just type CMD. A normal CMD is going to show up. This is the regular Windows CMD as always. And what you're going to do is just type this GCC. So if everything was installed correctly, you should see this error, which is completely normal. GCC fatal error, no input files, compilation terminated. So okay, so we're gonna leave this window open as well. And if you remember, we left this window from MSys open. So next thing is we're just gonna start installing a series of packages. So the next stuff we're going to install is this one, which is going to be installed in make. Also the same procedure as always, just type Y and is gonna be installed and downloaded. Now we're gonna install and download SDL2. Just paste the code and yes, and everything is gonna be installed. And then just we're gonna do the same but for SDL2.net. So just paste it and do the same, Y and yes. So now we're basically done with this thing. We're gonna just close this. We don't longer need it. And what you're gonna do is obviously in the first step, I expect that you install Tortoise. So we're gonna go into my computer, my PC, go into your C unit, and we're gonna just right click here and select SVN CHECKOUT. So once you're here, you'll have to add this line of code. So the first thing that you want to add is this thing that is already added, which is svn.co.sf.net/p model3mu/code/trunk. And also you're gonna add this thing to create a new folder where for the destination of the downloaded source code, of course, which is gonna be c/model3 emulator. So now we're gonna click OK. And now the source code is gonna be downloaded. You'll notice a new folder is gonna be created here, which is model3mu. And here you can see that the source code itself is gonna start downloading. It's it's like a couple of megabytes, so expect to wait a couple of seconds. And here you can see which is the latest version, the latest and greatest version of the emulator, which is for now up to today, which is I don't know, the 30th of October 2020. We have the 832 version. So clicking OK. So now next thing what I do is go into your folder. You'll notice all these weird folders with these weird green ticks. All you have to do is go and click in the path, just copy the path, open again the CMD, the regular CMD of the Windows, type cd space and just paste this path, and you'll be inside the folder itself. So now the next thing you want to do is make sure and make a little clean command, which is gonna paste this, and as you notice, it's gonna clean up all different stuff. Probably it's not very important now because it's the first time we do it, because it's it's a fresh installation, but it's a good practice to do it anyway. So now after doing that, you just want to go and execute the command that actually it's gonna create the executable. So it's gonna copy this and paste it, and then just click enter. So if everything went wrong, sorry about that. If everything went right, everything went good, you should be able to see all these kind of weird steps in the compiling procedure. So expect to be waiting a couple of seconds, maybe minutes. All of this is perfectly normal. The objective of all this crap is to actually have or actually obtain the Supermodel executable here. As you notice, right now it's empty. If you go into the bin64 folder, it's going to be empty, but once this process is done, you'll successfully created the executable here. The executable is going to be present in the bin64 folder with no problems. So we're going to wait a couple more seconds until this is created. So until this is done, I'm going to teach you a couple of tips. Sorry, I'm going to change the wallpaper to my usual wallpaper. Okay, my wallpaper, yeah, here it is. Okay, so basically what you're going to do, once you have the executable, you will need to have certain files such as the CDL DLL, CDL2 DLL, CDL2_net. These three are essential. Also, you need a saves folder, NVRAM folder, and also you need the config folder. You might have to create that yourself. or you can get it, an older version of the emulator and just paste them. So the games XML, you'll need this crap inside your emulator, and also the Supermodel ini. So in a couple of seconds, I'm gonna teach you how to do all this shit. So by default, your config, your Supermodel ini is probably gonna be like this: emulate net 0 and address out is gonna be blank. So in a couple of seconds, I'm gonna teach you how to deal with that. So so let's check. So we are done. You can see that Lincoln Supermodel, it's done. So we can close this this window, go back into the Bean64 folder, and here you'll locate the Supermodel executable here. So we can just cut it and paste it. You have this Supermodel, the fresh Supermodel executable. You can put it inside your project here. Also, I'm going to include inside my download. Obviously, this is going to be created inside a little nice pack that I'm going to leave you guys in the description. If you go to my webpage, as always, if you go to my webpage, go to gravisartnet.com, and here just go and click in the forum. As always, wait for email confirmation, register, and once you're accepted, you have to wait a couple of hours. You will be able to access the Hack and Game thread with all the different threads, and just look for the Supermodel free thread, and there you'll be able to download this pack. But this tutorial is actually to teach you how to do this yourself in order to always have the latest and greatest version of the emulator. So obviously this version is going to be available to download, but in the future probably newer versions are going to be out. So so you can compile it yourself in the future. So you'll notice that I will include the second model UI, which is a pretty handy, UI launcher of all the games, that it actually lists all the games inside a convenient way, with a convenient way to configure your games, and also you can configure the emulation of the network and also on all that shit. So for the sake of this example, I'm gonna teach you everything using just Daytona 2. I'm not gonna use Scud Race or Sega GT or other games or Virtua Striker. I'm just gonna use Daytona 2 to make this tutorial simple and not dealing with a lot of games. So because all the different games use the same procedure, so it makes no sense. So so once you have the executable done, you just have to paste it obviously inside your emulator folder. Make sure to have these free files, to have this UI executable. The UI executable needs the snaps folder, which has all these screenshots of the game, of the emulator. The saves folder is always empty. NVRAM, you can just delete it. Then the config, the first time you execute it, if you want to play multiplayer in the same computer with several different sessions, just leave it in 0 for the first time. So now I'm going to teach you how to make the emulator work in the same computer in an emulator network, so you can theoretically play in multiplayer in the same computer. So make sure we're going to just override this crap. I'm just going to make this shit. So, okay, so here we have, as you can notice, I'm going to just also override the executable here. And so we should have these two folders. These are two exact folders with the two exact games, and the versions of the emulator are the same. They're just a clone. So you should have like two folders here if you want to test the multiplayer. So what you're gonna do is actually figure out which is gonna be the computer that is gonna be the master, and which is gonna be the slave. So for instance, in this example, we're gonna make the left folder be the master and the right folder be the slave. So we're gonna start by executing the game now. We're gonna open the second model UI. Make sure that multi-thread is disabled. Just make sure about that. The link system, you're gonna see that the address out is completely blank. So that's right. That's completely normal. So make sure to select the one that says Daytona 2 ROM. just click in load. Make sure to go to the folder and refer to the correct folder where you have the ROM. In this case, it's this one. So we're gonna do the same for the other one, but obviously the folder of the ROM is gonna be different. So it's gonna be the copy folder here. So now we have the these two theoretically different arcade machines. So now we're gonna select Daytona 2 and let's load the ROM. So if everything works nice, you'll see that you have this. So click in 6, the number 6. Now use the number 5 to navigate and click, go into game assignments and click in 6. And here, make sure to have the master enabled. So just move with 5 and modify with 6. Move with 5, link ID, modify with 6. Make sure to have master car number, probably 1. And then just don't modify anything else. Go to exit and then just exit. So now all your parameters should be saved. And we're gonna close this. So now we're gonna close this also as well. So now we're gonna select Daytona 2 in the computer 2 now. We're gonna load the ROM, and this time around, once the game is executed, we're gonna press 6 again, and then just go to navigate and go to the game assignments. And this time around, we're gonna go into link ID, push 6 to change it into slave. And this time around, the car number is going to be probably 2 or whatever number you want, probably 2. And then just go into exit and then just click in exit. So now we're going to close this and close this. And then we are going to configure the ports and all that stuff. So we're going to go into Supermodel here. And we're going to open Supermodel here as well. So we have these two config inis. So the trick about this thing is that you have to change the emulate net to 1, and the first computer, I mean this is the master, should have the 1970 port and the out 1971. This port will refer to the in of the other computer. I mean the other computer will have the 1971 as in, and the out is going to refer back to the first computer. It's going to be 70. So if you notice this, we are creating kind of a loop, like a perfect circle. In 70, out 71, in 71, out 70. It's like they are complementing themselves and they are like closing the circle. So for the sake of this example, and the test is going to be carried out inside the same computer. So the IP that we're going to use is just the local regular generic IP 127.0.0.1. So we're going to do the same for the other one. So the important thing here is that the ports are telling which computer is which. So just clicking Ctrl S and save it, Ctrl S and save it, and we should be ready to play in a single multiplayer in the single computer. Let's see if everything works fine. We're gonna open this from this computer, and we're gonna open this from this other computer, and select Daytona 2, and we're gonna check here in link system. You can see that all the changes are done here. We're gonna execute the load ROM and load ROM. Let's see if it works. You should have 2 instances of the game. You can see in the console, you see that successfully connected, all this crap. That's normal, and the game has launched. Let's see if it works.
Waiting for the other players. Select the race course. Beginner. Please select the level of the car. Normal level of the car. Normal, choose manual or automatic. Choose manual or automatic. Start.
Okay, so as you can notice, I was able to play in multiplayer with no problems, with almost no lag. The thing about this emulator is that it's great because it's the only emulator out there that is capable of emulating Model 3 games, Sega Model 3 games. But the thing about this emulator is that it still has a lot of way to go, and it's not perfect. So if you're actually going to test this in a local area network, in a real local area network with different computers, not in the same one, you'll have a very significant lag. That's probably because of the code that is lagging, the connections between the emulator. So it's the lag, if you experience it inside a real LAN, it's almost unplayable because everything's gonna be like in slow-mo. Anyways, I'm gonna show you how that works. We're gonna see in the next part of the video how to play this same emulator in a real LAN and see how to configure the INI. So let's go to the other part of the video. Okay guys, so here we are in the second part of the video where we're gonna test in real time in a real scenario of LAN. So be aware that in this case the multiplayer is gonna work super bad. It's gonna be super slow. That's not gonna be your fault, but it's gonna be the emulator fault, because obviously the Supermodel 3 emulator is super great. It's an amazing piece of software, but as for now, it's not nearly perfect. So this function is not gonna be super reliable, and you'll have your game lag as hell. So the lag issue is gonna be a super problem, making the games almost unplayable. But it's a nice gimmick, and it's a nice thing that you can expect in future versions of the emulator to be probably solved in the near future. So obviously we have we have here two computers, as you can see, 1 and 2. We are connected in the same network, in the same LAN. So what you're gonna do is go and configure the ports and the IPs this time. As you know, in the first part of the video, I taught you to configure the IP with 127.0.0.1. Let's go to the config here, config supermodel ini, and you can see that I have changed it into local IP this time. The logic or the procedure when you're gonna use this emulator in local area network is basically this. This is the IP thing that we're gonna use. In this example, we are hypothetically using 3 computers: PC1, PC2, and PC3. So the PC1 ini should have the PC2 local IP inside. The PC2 should have the PC3 local IP, and the PC3 should close the circle in the perfect circle and loop, having the PC1 IP closing this circle in a perfect balance. So if all games run in the same PC, as I show you in the first part of the video, obviously all IPs need to be 127.0.0.1. But in case you want to try it in a real LAN, you'll have to include the local IP in this fashion. So so in this case, we're going to open also the INI in the other computer, in computer 2. So the local IP of this computer, the local IP of computer 2, should be included inside the INI of computer 1. So this IP is the local IP of that computer. And the other computer, the computer 2, should have the local IP of the computer 1. So this IP that you see here is the IP of this computer, and this IP is the IP of this computer. So they are connected in the same circle. And the overall logic with the ports here is the same as in the first example of the first part of the video. So I'm going to show you just now a little graphic that I also prepared to explain the logic of the ports. So the ports works like that. So in this example, I also included a scenario where you have 3 computers. For example, if you have PC1, you'll have the in and out, the out of PC1 should be the in of PC2, the out of PC2 should be the in of PC3, and the out of PC3 should be the same as the in of PC1. So this is the perfect circle of the ports. So in other words, the last player out port should redirect to the first player in port. So that's how the ports work. So basically, all you have to do now, we're gonna make sure to have the IPs correctly configured, the ports correctly configured, and also the emulate net should be activated with 1. And make sure and remember that as we did in the first part of the video, the second computer should be the slave and should have the second, the card number 2, and the first computer should be card number 1 and be the master. So also remember to have the multi-threaded disabled in both computers. Here you can change in the video tab, you can change several video options such as full screen, resolution, the use of new 3D engine and all that stuff, and also the sound, the controls you can change to X input and stuff like that, and also the link system should be configured the way we just configured it inside the README. I have my little dog here. It's behaving okay. So we're gonna try and see if this works. We're gonna select the Daytona 2 in the list. We're gonna just click and load. Remember to have the folder referring to the ROMs correctly configured in both computers, and let's click and load ROM. Let's load the ROM in the other computer as well, and let's see hopefully if they can connect between each other. Master, connect controller, and slave machine. So that's okay. Master and slave. So as you can see, the game has already launched. Let's see if it works fine. Okay. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that obviously, as I told you before, it's gonna work super slow with lots of lag. But don't worry, hopefully in future versions this is gonna be fixed. So choose whatever car you want, and let's see how the LAN works. Right, let's go. As you can see, we are connected in the same race. Player 2 is visible there. We're gonna pass player 2, and you will see player 1 in the second computer, hopefully. But the speed obviously is super slow. It's almost unplayable. I mean, it's playable, but not competitively, I guess. And there you can see player 1. Okay guys, so this was a tutorial on how to properly configure the Model 3 emulator and how to compile it. I hope you like this video, and see you next time. Also, before I forget, oh come on man, before I forget, I'm gonna have to thank Conversus Wears Vans, which I promised him that I was gonna do a tutorial about this thing and give credit to him because he was essential for this tutorial to be something real. He helped a lot, so a huge shout out to him. I'm gonna put his name in the video description also. Yeah, see you next time and have a good day. Bye.